The best friend's brother is my anchor, and this is how a weekend away with him turned forbidden longing into a second chance at love. I am 37, and I run a small design studio that makes quiet spaces with glass and light, the kind of work that lets me measure beauty in colors and calm. My days are full of deadlines, tiny triumphs, and the soft push and pull of a life which I try to keep steady. My husband, Dean, is a good man, steady and practical, a partner who believes in routines and promises and safe bets. Our marriage is familiar, like a favorite sweater that fits but has worn elbows and loose threads in the cuffs. I value our rituals. Coffee at dawn, a quick text asking when he will be home, a shared dinner when the city finally slows down enough for us to talk about the little things that fill our days. My best friend Lily is the heart of our circle, the one who keeps a notepad of everyone else's feelings and fears, the friend who knows how to hold you up when life grows heavy. Her brother Marcus visits rarely, for he lives far and works hard. A man whose mind runs like a storm, and whose anger and tenderness carry the same thunder. He arrived for a weekend at her lakeside cabin, freshly divorced after years that wore at him like a second skin. And I told myself to keep a careful distance, to protect the lines we do not cross. Yet when he walked into the cabin in the morning light, his shirt a little rumpled, his gaze direct, his voice quiet but sure, I felt a pull that surprised me, a heat behind my chest that I had learned to guard since love was no longer a simple, safe thing. On the first night, Lily curled into sleep with the soft rhythm of a person who trusts a room to guard her dreams, and Marcus and I sat by the kitchen table with mugs of tea that steamed like rivers in winter. We spoke in quiet voices about jobs and losses and the stubborn weather that kept us indoors. And in the stillness, our hands brushed, a stray touch that felt like a spark under crowded velvet. He asked about the ache that comes when a home no longer feels like a safe harbor, and I told him of years of polite silences, of a husband who tried to fix me with a grin and a plan but never fixed what lay between us, of a life I kept tidy and bright so that no one would see the fragility underneath. He listened with a seriousness I had not expected, eyes clear and honest. And when the night grew heavy with rain, he stood close enough that the air between us carried the weight of something unsaid. The moment stretched, and then the kind of kiss that lingers arrived. Not wild and reckless, but meaningful. A slow tilt of a head, a careful pressure, the soft press of lips that told me we both recognized a line we were not supposed to cross. We stepped apart as if waking from a shared dream, both cautious, both breathless, both aware that this was not a game, but the beginning of a choice we did not yet know how to make. That kiss began a thread that pulled at us through the weekend, a thread we kept taut with every conversation, every shared glance, every piece of weathered laughter. Our talks drifted toward the past and the losses that shaped us, then crooked it toward the kind of future that might be possible if two people chose to be brave. We promised to guard the boundaries we were warned not to cross, to keep loyalty to the people who trusted us, and to the families who might be harmed by our hunger. And yet, the hunger persisted, not as a loud shout, but as a steady drumbeat in the quiet rooms of the cabin. I could feel my mind trying to stay steady, my heart trying to be faithful, and yet the thought kept returning. What if I allowed myself to see a life beyond the safe circle I had drawn around my days? What if love, even if dangerous, could be honest enough to be given a chance to heal what years of ordinary sacrifice could not mend? Midway through the weekend, the air turned sharp with rain on glass, and the room grew heavy with the scent of pine and the memory of all I had kept buried. If this confession has you on the edge of your seat, hit like and share, because you will not believe what happens next. The next morning, we spoke with careful courage about the truth we had named only in our private minds. Marcus admitted that his divorce had left him with questions he did not know how to answer, including what it might mean to trust again. And I admitted that the distance between my husband and me had grown so quiet it sounded like a closed door. We did not pretend to have all the answers. We did not pretend that our attraction was nothing more than a spark in the cold. We spoke about the life we might already be living if we chose to walk a different path, about the fear of hurting Lily and Dean, about the long road of forgiveness that might have to come before any kind of happiness could become real. And then we did something small but essential. We chose to tell our families the truth we had been tending in the shadows. We allowed space for healing to begin, and we let the possibility of a second chance with the life we already laced with responsibility and love rest on the table. Not as a promise, but as a choice we would consider with time and care. When the weekend ended, we parted with a tenderness that felt like a map rather than a destination. A plan to see each other again with intention and restraint, and a mutual respect that asked us to become better, gentler, braver versions of ourselves. The weekend did not erase the old life. It invited a new life to grow alongside it, a life in which truth could coexist with care, where desire was not the enemy of duty, but the compass that could guide us towards something healthier and more enduring. The days after that trip brought a slow, careful healing to the marriage I had built and the heart I had kept quiet for too long. And I found in the gentleness of Dean's listening ear and in Marcus's quiet sincerity a kind of second chance I had almost believed was impossible. If you crave more raw emotional confessions, please like, share, and subscribe. Your next chapter awaits. The weekend gave me not only a taste of forbidden longing, but also a clearer vision of how to love with integrity, how to forgive what has hurt, and how to open a door to a future that might hold both old trust and new passion, so that one day I might tell the full truth of the choice I finally made with both courage and compassion. A choice that began in a lake house and stretched toward a life rebuilt on honest promises and hopeful, patient hearts. Emotion is storytelling, forbidden love, second chances, mature romance, infidelity in marriage, love after loss, grief and healing, tenant love story, romantic narration, YouTube romance, healing through love, slow burn romance, older woman, younger man, heartfelt story, true feelings, emotional connection, faceless love, Olivia and Marcus, narrative romance, love found me.